No. Okay, now I think I'm live on Facebook. Go to our Facebook page over there, Stephen, and tell me if you can see me on Facebook talking. Am I there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hi, y'all. This is DVtv. I'm Tammy now. Voice offices. So usually we do them from a different location, but we're doing them here today, and I'm doing it by myself because my usual cohorts are not available. Brandi Amara Sky has family in visiting, and Israel Luna is having some difficulties with his transportation. I think alternator problems is what he told me. So we're talking today about what's going on this week. It's going to be just kind of an abbreviated version of DVtv Live because I know y'all don't want to sit here very long and listen to me talk. Stephen is over there behind the front desk. Say hi, Stephen.
Oh, hey.
I don't know if you can hear him. He said hey. But hold on one second. Is it still going? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, what I want to talk a little bit about is just what's going on this week and this weekend. We're going to start with tonight. Or tomorrow night, I mean. There's a lot of stuff going on tomorrow night. Over in Fort Worth, Main Street Arts Festival is going on downtown all weekend long, tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Tomorrow night at S4, there's Gay Bingo of Oz. Also tomorrow night, the Chamber of Commerce, North Texas GLBT Chamber of Commerce, is having its annual gala event at a private home. And in Fort Worth again, Impulse Dallas is over there at Urban Cowboy Saloon on Lancaster Street at Bridge Street. And they're doing Cirque du Soleil. They've got Mayhem Miller, who's one of the season 10 Drag Race girls, who will be there performing as part of the show. Ivana Trump will be in the show. I think May Graves is also there as one of the entertainers. It's free admission, but you have to RSVP to get in. It's a kind of a private event. So look in the newspaper. We have an interview this week with Mayhem Miller from Drag Race, and the story at the end of that story, it'll be on page 11 is where it starts, and it winds up on page 15. You can get the information on how to RSVP so that you are on the guest list for Cirque du Soleil tomorrow night at Urban Cowboy Saloon. Also this weekend, of course, it is Scarborough Renaissance Festival in Waxahachie. That's continuing through Memorial Day. It will be the final performance for this year. Every weekend, Friday, Saturday, at Fairgrounds outside of Waxahachie, right off I-35. This weekend, on Sunday, Brandi and Israel, our DVtv crew, will be out there filming a segment for DVtv on the Scene. So be watching for that. We'll have that up and posted over the next week. And then in like 2 weeks from today, we're going to have a story from one of the openly LGBT performers out there at the fair this year. There's a lot of other stuff going on. One of the things this week is our annual Defining Homes Great Spaces edition. So you can get a lot of information on gardening. You can get information on design. We have a story about a couple, David Wyrick, who is a realtor and locator at Dallas Luxury Realty in Uptown, and his partner is Nicholas Nasrallah, who works with DW Design Group. And they do a lot of work. They work together. They combine their talents on a lot of projects, I think. There's a very nice story that David Taffet did before he went out of town on vacation. I got a message from David today while he's on vacation. went by the Marjorie Stone Douglas High School in Florida, in Parkland, Florida. He's visiting relatives there, and I think he talked to a couple of people. So hopefully they're going to have some really interesting news coming up, and some interviews coming up with some of those students. Also in the news this week, we have a story about a man in Fort Worth who died after an altercation outside a bar over there. Police are still investigating that. We're not sure exactly what happened. You know, as usual, there's some different stories going on about what happened exactly. So police will continue to investigate that until they get some answers about what's going on. We have a story from Brandi, a Morris guy, in the paper this week. She participates at Dallas Comedy House, and she has a story about some efforts to evict Dallas Comedy House from their location in DeBellum. It's about corporate development, which is obviously important for the growth, but it's about how do we balance corporate development with maintaining our culture and our landmarks. David Webb, who used to be on staff here, wrote a piece about Cray Pridgeon. A lot of people these days don't remember Cray Pridgeon, but he was, in the 90s, he was at a gay bar in North Carolina, and I think it was 3 Marines from Camp Lejeune was nearby, showed up over there and started a fight, and they beat him up pretty bad. And it was all about Don't Ask, Don't Tell. This was about the time that Bill Clinton was signing Don't Ask, Don't Tell and making that official policy for the military. You know, and as things progressed over the years, Don't Ask, Don't Tell became something that we just hated. It was just a cover for more witch hunts. But when it was first signed into law, or into policy, it was seen as a step forward, and some of the more homophobic elements in the military were very upset that they were going to let LGBT people, or lesbian and gay people, it didn't really include the transgender folk, but this was a way that lesbian and gay people could serve in the military, and there were a lot of folks who were upset at that idea. So what eventually came to be oppressive and backwards policy that allowed some in the military to carry out witch hunts and try to out LGBT service members started out as a step forward, although we don't see it that way anymore. So Cray was kind of an activist for a while, had a very high profile nationally. Then he kind of faded from the spotlight, and I think lived out his years in Florida doing a much quieter kind of activism. He passed away recently, and David Webb, who knew him and worked with him when David worked with Southern Poverty Law Center when Law Center was helping Cray Pridgeon and representing him and some stuff. Also, a couple of other things this week in the paper, some information on Queer Bomb 2018. If you don't know, Queer Bomb is Dallas's annual June Pride Month Pride event. We have our festival in Lee Park and our parade in September. We have a group called Queer Bomb that each year organize an event, a Pride event in June. They do it without corporate sponsors, so that it becomes or remains much more community oriented. So they need to raise funds, because there's always while they keep it low key in terms of the cost, there's always cost involved. You have to pay for permits and things like that, venues, equipment. So they're announcing the date for Queer Bomb 2018. It's coming up in June 16th at RBC on Commerce Street in DeBellum, and they already are starting fundraising efforts. So check that out, find out how you can donate to help keep Queer Bomb happening each year. And one more thing to talk about is Metro Ball 13, which is going to be in June this year. Usually Metro Ball, which is a big dance party and fundraiser, happens right at the end of May, right at the beginning of June. Well, it's going to be happening later in June this year to accommodate some changes in scheduling of some of the other events. And they've announced this week, we've already announced that Expose and Shannon are going to be special guest entertainers for Metro Ball 13. And this week they announced that Asia O'Hara, who is our local drag race contestant, is going to be the MC and will also be entertaining at Metro Ball 13. So that Metro Ball is going to be, I cannot find it. It's going to be at S4 on June 29th. You can get tickets and more information online. Metro Ball each year benefits the Greg Dalgener Memorial AIDS Fund. And this is an organization that provides help for individuals with HIV and AIDS when they can't find help other places. You know, when you need to repair your car so you can keep going to your job and keep your insurance, or when you come up short on rent, sometimes they can help you out. These are emergency funding situations, not ongoing recurring things. But they also help fund projects through some of the other organizations that have more long-term programs. So you can get tickets online at gdmaf.org, or you can get information and a link to tickets online there. They're also still looking for sponsors for the program, and there are VIP tickets available as well. So check all that out. And let's go real quickly to the calendar in the lifestyle section. Arnold Wayne Jones handles that for us each week. The USA Film Festival here in Dallas starts on the 25th. That's next weekend. Margaret Cho, everybody probably remembers Margaret Cho, the comedian Margaret Cho. She's bringing her show Fresh Off the Bloat to Dallas, with 5 shows here from tonight through Sunday at Addison Improv. You can find out information there about her shows. Also, Kitchen Dog Theater is premiering its original play, Pompeii, or an original play, Pompeii. So there's a lot of things going on. You need to pick up the paper, check out the gay agenda. That's on page 6. And you can also get a look at our Pet of the Week, Georgette. Georgette needs a home. SPCA of Dallas. No, not Dallas. SPCA of Texas. And then there's a calendar with plenty of events. And then there's more calendar information in the back under Best Bets. And then on Scene, you can find out what's happening over the next 7 days in the bars. So that's going to be my DVtv for this week, because y'all don't want to listen to me talk a whole lot more. So say goodbye, Stephen.
Goodbye.
Stephen said goodbye. I said goodbye. We'll see you next week. Brandi and Israel will be back with me. We'll probably be sitting here on our lovely bright orange couch in the DVtv offices, Dallas Voice offices here in the Design District. So y'all come back and see more next week. All right? Thank y'all.